So if you know, I know y'all doing whatever y'all doing, but if we can't really sit here and have a good time,
when she say
make it fun, or make it fun, then we can't film because I ain't come here for that. I don't know what the motive is to have me here. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna talk about what we talking about. But listen,
because you ain't listening to me. I'm the only
right. I'm listening to you, and I'm trying to talk.
Keep running
Don't piss Niece off.
I'm trying to like, come on. It's like, what we doing?
Listen, you always.
What I do?
Nobody don't like you.
What I do?
Why did
Nobody
you
don't like you.
When she get her ready, when y'all get her ready, I'ma come back.
No,
she's bad energy, and she's on in my ear with that nasty breath.
Joseline Hernandez showed up ready to confront Karlissa, and things quickly got out of control. Just picture calling someone funky and then getting completely shut down for it. But maybe this time, Karlissa picked the wrong person to mess with. See, when it comes to Joseline, she takes her name and reputation seriously, especially when it's something personal like hygiene. She's not the type to let disrespect slide, and Karlissa found that out the hard way. This whole situation started when Karlissa made some rude remarks about how Joseline smelled, calling her funky in front of a crowd.
And y'all gonna leave her stay right here in my face?
Y'all always losing me.
You got me kicked off.
In my face, you right here.
I'm kicked off my own show.
In my face.
Matthew.
I'm kicked off my
Come
own
on, Puerto
show.
Rican princess. You got the couch to yourself, baby. Come on, Joseline.
I'm not good.
I'm not going downstairs. I am not on punishment. She could go for that.
No, she can't.
Okay,
No,
then
she
let her
can't.
go on. I'm still
No, why
here.
don't you just go downstairs?
I'm not going downstairs.
We have a fun show.
Not gonna happen. Not
Baby,
gonna happen.
we have a fun
if I
show.
go downstairs, I'm going home.
Bye.
I'm not going downstairs.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh my God.
Come on, let
Sit
her.
over here.
Who you
y'all, do
messing
your
tonight?
thing.
God damn, what's up with y'all?
I'm not gonna
This
bother
shit
you
getting
guys. Finish the
kindergartenish,
show.
man.
Go
Can we
ahead.
get this
I-
dude
I-
done and
I
get
don't want bad energy there. She's gonna send out bad waves to us.
like God?
Bad
please.
ways.
We too grown for this.
Bad waves. Right,
Just
that's why.
respect people's boundaries.
You'd think with all the stories out there about Joseline's wild confrontations, people would think twice before going at her. But nope, Karlissa went for it. And Joseline was more than ready to fire back. She didn't waste any time throwing shade about how she's more successful, bragging about making millions with Zeus Network and mentoring young women in the industry. And she didn't stop there. She even brought up Karlissa's personal life, including her son's legal issues, just to hit where it hurts. Karlissa tried to keep it together during the show, but Joseline was clearly out to embarrass her. She went in hard, calling out everything from Karlissa's fashion to her age. Joseline's known for not backing down, whether it's on camera or in real life. Remember when she actually got into it with the cops and still walked away? That's just how she is. She's built her whole image around being tough and unapologetic, and she's not about to let anyone come for her without a response. That's why things got heated so fast. Joseline doesn't do passive, and honestly, Karlissa should have known better. When Joseline walked into the Auntie podcast, the vibe was off right away. You could feel the tension. She came in ready, and it was obvious she didn't like Karlissa from the jump. Joseline went straight at her, calling her a bitter, jealous woman who can't stand seeing someone younger and more successful. She didn't hold back at all, saying things like, "I'm 20 years younger and already did more than you ever will." She even dragged Karlissa's son into it again, just to flex that while Karlissa's dealing with family trouble. She's out here thriving and helping others succeed. Joseline called her out over and over. Her clothes, her attitude, her age, saying she was just mad because she's no longer relevant. Meanwhile, Karlissa tried to keep calm, but you could tell Joseline's words were hitting her. Joseline kept pushing, saying Karlissa didn't even deserve a seat at the table and would never measure up. She straight up said, "You're jealous of me because I'm younger, hotter, and more successful. You're just a bitter old woman mad at a queen." It was rough to watch. Joseline was tearing her down in front of everyone, and she didn't care who saw it. After all that, Karlissa didn't stay quiet. A few days later, she jumped on Instagram Live to respond. She claimed the podcast was edited to make her look bad and that people didn't get to see what really happened.
Joseline take you out like that. So she didn't take me out, y'all. I volunteered because she was to leave if I was there. And I took one for the team, obviously, because if I would have stayed, she wasn't gonna finish the interview, which means we wasn't gonna get paid. And you know how I'm about my money. Soon as she started, I leave the set, I was like, you know what, it's not that big of a deal, I'll sit over here. So that the ladies could still get their interview and we could still get our full
Karlissa claimed the real drama didn't start on set. It had already been brewing long before Joseline arrived. She said the situation wasn't as one-sided as it appeared and felt like the whole thing was a setup to make Joseline look better. Then Karlissa threw in a jab, saying when Joseline walked in, there was a bad smell in the room that everyone noticed. She didn't sugarcoat it. She made it clear she believed the smell wasn't from the crew, but from Joseline herself. Karlissa even joked that they thought a cameraman hadn't showered, but then realized it was coming from Joseline. She accused Joseline of acting like she's above everyone else just because she has money and cosmetic work done. But Karlissa said all that money won't help if you're not taking care of basic things like hygiene. She also explained why she stayed quiet during the podcast, saying she didn't want to mess up her bag. In her words, "I know how to stay quiet when my money's involved." According to her, Joseline's behavior was just another attention grab. But that didn't mean she was going to stay silent forever. Karlissa said she was done keeping quiet and was ready to expose everything, starting with the smell and calling out how Joseline's been acting different since getting a little fame. But this isn't the first time people have talked about Joseline's hygiene. Over the years, more than a few folks have made comments about it. Kay Michelle, who's had her own problems with Joseline, didn't hold back when she threw shade, hinting Joseline wasn't as clean as she pretends to be. And then there's Amber Ali, who didn't bother with hints. She straight up said Joseline smelled like mop water.
Don't smell good enough.
It don't smell?
She smells like mop water, bro. Like Joseline stinks. She smells like mop water. And somebody needs to tell her. Hernandez smelling like water. Clean your... You're rich. You're rich.
Amber didn't hold back when she spoke about being in the same room as Joseline. She said it was an experience she wouldn't forget anytime soon. Amber even joked that Joseline needed to work on her hygiene, claiming it was something people in the industry had started talking about. These weren't just internet trolls. Amber made it clear that people who had worked closely with Joseline noticed the same thing. That's why the rumors just won't go away. Even when Joseline tries to brush them off, they stick to her. Fans online didn't waste time chiming in either. One user commented, "Go to the gynecologist, Joseline. They make pills for that." Another added, "How many women need to say the same thing before Joseline gets it? It's not looking good. This feud doesn't seem to be cooling off." Word is Joseline's planning to confront Karlissa face-to-face. Knowing Joseline's track record, that's probably going to explode, if it actually happens. She's not the kind of person who lets things slide quietly. And if Karlissa thought her rant on Instagram would be the end of it, she might want to think again. Joseline lives for moments like this. She thrives in chaos. So while Karlissa might have thought she was just speaking her truth, she may have stirred up more trouble than she expected. What do you think? Was Karlissa out of line, or was she right to speak up? And Joseline, did she go too far, or is this just her usual behavior? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Now let's talk about the real storm. Joseline Hernandez herself. She's always been bold, outspoken, and full of energy on shows like Love and Hip Hop. But now, something much deeper has come to light, something nobody saw coming. In a recent interview, Joseline opened up about something shocking. She's been suffering abuse from her fiancé, Ballistic Beats. The same couple that always looked so picture-perfect at events and on social media was hiding a painful truth behind closed doors. At first, it looked like a fairy tale romance. They smiled for the cameras, walked red carpets hand in hand, and appeared to be the perfect team. But behind all that was a toxic relationship full of emotional and physical pain. Joseline finally decided she couldn't keep pretending. Fans were stunned. For years, they believed she was living the dream. But Joseline admitted she was actually stuck in a nightmare. The emotional abuse started small. Arguments, harsh words, mood swings. At first, she thought it was just stress or a misunderstanding. But things got worse. The tension never really went away. Ballistic would lash out over minor issues, and Joseline became the target of cruel words and constant criticism. The verbal abuse left her questioning herself, feeling worthless, and blaming herself for the fights. But eventually, things got physical. Joseline didn't describe the violence in detail, but she made it clear that the relationship had become dangerous. She was scared, not just of what Ballistic might do, but of how the world would react if they found out. Behind all the glam photos and TV appearances, Joseline was carrying this pain in silence. The pressure to keep up appearances was eating her alive. She felt isolated, ashamed, and trapped. But even with all the fear, she found the courage to speak out. Her story is now sparking important conversations about abuse and what it really looks like, especially behind the social media filters. Joseline reminded her fans that domestic violence doesn't care about fame or status. It can happen to anyone. By telling her story, she's helping others see the warning signs and realize they're not alone. She encouraged people to speak up, get help, and stop blaming themselves for someone else's toxic behavior. Joseline's courage is helping break the silence around domestic violence. Her experience shows how abuse can be hidden behind smiles, designer clothes, and red carpet appearances. It also shows that healing is possible. She's working hard to rebuild her life and rediscover who she is without the pain and fear. Her message is simple: no one should suffer in silence. Her story is raw and painful, but also full of strength. It's not just about what she went through, it's about what she's doing with that pain now. Joseline is turning her trauma into something powerful. She's using her platform to give others hope. And maybe, just maybe, someone out there will hear her story and find the courage to walk away from their own toxic situation.